Casey has done a mock draft, so it's the Browns post-first wave of free agency mock draft. Pick 54, linebacker Ajarian Cooper from Texas A&M. We're going to take a look at pick 85 as well. At 85, he has Jatavian Sanders, tight end from Texas. So, Casey, what do you like about Cooper and Sanders? So you got linebacker, tight end going in the third and fourth rounds there.
Well, first, I'd like to say what you've done in free agency kind of allows for this to happen in the draft because you're not drafting out of need for this season. You can kind of draft with an eye towards the future. And the way I look at it, Ajarian Cooper, in my mind, is the only first-round graded linebacker. But he's not going to go in the first round because of the value of the position. So if he slides to 54, I sprint that card up. His tape is probably the funnest tape I've seen all year. This kid's a natural playmaker. You know, he's 22 years old, 6'2", 220, 4.5 40. He has the explosivity, but he just finds the ball. He had 17 tackles for loss last year, 8 sacks. He just finds the ball. He's a weaponizable player, too, because I don't believe that he's locked into anything as a linebacker. He's agnostic. You could move him, Mike, Sam, or Will, whatever needs to happen. And given what you've done in free agency, he doesn't have to see the field right away. He can grow into it. But I think if you fast forward a year and you're looking at Ajarian Cooper and JOK together, I think that's a very dynamic linebacking room.
All right, and the tight end, a guy that's athletic, almost as athletic as David Njoku, not quite, though.
Yeah, and if you're not Brock Bowers, you're getting forgot about in this draft. There's a couple other tight ends. He's one of them that pops off to me that just a vertical threat. Someone that's, 6'4", 245 has that size. As most receiving tight ends that come in out of college, he lacks a little bit in the blocking department. But given what you got with Njoku being a complete tight end and Giovanni Ricci coming in to kind of being that utility guy, more that H-back role, I think that you could get a receiving tight end like Jatavian Sanders and really do some damage in the vertical game, getting up the seams. He's excellent in traffic. And it's what he can do with the ball in his hands after the catch, similar to Njoku, that intrigues you. If you can get a young guy like that under contract and let him grow, because tight end is one of those positions, it's hard to be ready right out of the box. Usually it's a year, 2 years, 3 years into their career before they really take flight. And I think that, if you get ahead of it now, well, you already have Njoku under contract, you already got the dirty blocker in Giovanni under contract, you can kind of let him be that move piece and let him get his toes wet. But he's someone who can be very explosive in the vertical game. All
right, we're going to take a look at 2 more picks. We're going to skip the offensive tackle. Sorry, offensive lineman, just not sexy at this point. All right, pick 156, Renardo Green, a cornerback from Florida State. Browns have been pretty good at drafting cornerbacks under Andrew Berry. And then at pick 230, a name that's been connected to the Browns some, Isaac Guerendo, running back from Louisville. Take us through Green and Guerendo and what you like about those two.
Well, Green's one of those guys that I caught by accident because I was looking at second-round wide receivers, and I was looking at Jamari Thrash and Ricky Pearsall, and all of a sudden there's this guy from Florida State. And it's like, this kid's tenacious, press man corner right up the Browns' alley. And this is a pick for the future. I'm not picking a guy to play slot this year. I'm picking someone who can be a spot starter if Denzel has to miss some games, which he probably will. I think you got a guy that can step right in. And he's that guy who's going to go day 3. I honestly feel like in a couple of years we could look back and ask why he wasn't a day 1 or a day 2 pick. Love his game, love his tenacity, and he showed his wares at the Shrine Bowl and was the best corner on the field. And he's been rising up the ranks. Tested well at the combine, but it's what he did on his on-field drills that I think are really turning heads. And I think he's a starting level outside corner in the league. Isaac Guerendo, that's a guy who's kind of like, he's a home run hitter, 5-year college player, but he split time in Wisconsin behind Jonathan Taylor and Braylon Allen. Didn't really get any playing time there. Transferred to Louisville for 1 year. Still split reps with Jawar Jordan. But when he was on the field, this kid had 22 runs of more than 15 yards or more. I mean, just explosive. And he shows you what he can do. He's really good in inside and outside zone. Good out of the shotgun. He's someone I think can really give you a boost. And then he goes to the combine and runs a 4.36 40, showing you that explosion wasn't just a flash in the pan. 1 year at Louisville, this kid really has it. Low tread on the tires, and someone I think the Browns should definitely be interested in.